Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to learn about uniform probability distribution, where we will understand what is uniform probability distribution, and at the same time we will also see some of the business case studies. Along with that, we will solve some of the problems related to uniform probability distribution. So let's start today's lecture. What is uniform probability distribution? So a probability distribution where all outcomes are equally likely. In other words, I can say that uniform probability distribution allows us to give an outcome within a specific range that we will also understand deeply in the next slides. So what are the characteristics of uniform probability distribution? It has equal probabilities, it has constant probability density, and it is made up of a rectangular shape. So let me draw the shape of the uniform probability distribution. So here I have drawn the diagram of uniform probability distribution where a specific range is mentioned. A and B is a specific range. Here comes the lowest number, here comes the highest number. And in that specific range lies our probability, and the probability can be solved with the help of a function x, which we will do in the next slides. So why uniform probability distribution is used in business? Because whenever it comes to understanding a topic, our question must remain like this: why we are using this particular topic in the field of our business. So let's understand this with the help of three situations which are given over here. The uniform probability distribution is used in business for various purposes where outcomes are equally likely within a certain range. As I told you before, with the help of the diagram, the outcomes are in a specific range. It comes in a specific range with the help of a rectangle shape. So first case is given to us, which says modeling random variables. In business, many situations involve random variables with outcomes that are equally likely. For example, when estimating the arrival times of customers at a service center or the lifespan of a particular product, a uniform distribution can provide a simple and realistic model. So with the help of this example, we can understand that uniform distribution can provide a simple and realistic model to us. Similarly, in resource allocation, uniform distribution is useful for modeling scenarios where resources needs to be allocated evenly across a range of options. For instance, when scheduling employees, shifts, or distributing marketing budgets across different channels, a uniform distribution can ensure fairness and efficiency among the distribution channel and among the scheduling of employees and shifts. In the case of forecasting demand, businesses may assume that demand for a product or service is equally likely in range. For example, when forecasting sales for a new product launch or predicting website traffic, which is really important in today's world, during a promotional campaign, a uniform distribution can be a straightforward way to represent uncertainty. Alright, I hope you understood this with the help of this business cases example. Now let's understand how uniform probability distribution is used in business. Uniform probability distribution is utilized in business for a variety of purposes due to its simplicity and applicability to certain scenarios where outcomes are equally likely within a defined range. So in businesses where inventory management comes, service level agreement comes, risk management, needs to be done. So in inventory management, uniform distribution can be applied in inventory management to estimate demand for products with relatively stable and evenly distributed sales pattern. By assuming that demand follows a uniform distribution, businesses can optimize inventory levels and minimize stock out without overstocking. So, this is how uniform distribution helps us. In service level agreements, in service oriented businesses like call centers or IT support services, uniform distribution may be used to model response time or service delivery time. This allows businesses to set realistic service level agreements and ensure consistent service quality. When it comes to managing risk in the business, uniform distribution can aid in risk assessment and management by offering a simple way to model uncertain events with equally likely outcomes. For instance, when estimating potential losses for specific risk or scenario, a uniform distribution can help quantify the range of possible outcomes. Okay, so let's understand this scenario. The title of this scenario is inventory replenishment. So imagine you run a small retail store that sells a popular product, and you need to determine how many units of this product to reorder to maintain optimal inventory levels. You know that customer demand for this product varies, but you are uncertain about the exact demand within certain range. So till now we understood that uniform probability distribution can be used within a certain range. In this situation, they are asking us, or they are saying that you know that customer demand for this product varies, but you are uncertain about the exact demand within certain range. We don't know about the exact demand which lies within a certain specific range. So the problem statement is given for our scenario. You want to use the uniform probability distribution to estimate the demand for the product over a specific period, so you can reorder the right amount of inventory to avoid stockouts while minimizing excess inventory. I hope you understood the problem statement. Our problem statement is to avoid the stockouts in our inventory and to maintain the right amount of inventory as well. So the range is also given to us. We are going to determine the range within which customer demand for the product could fall. For example, let's say the range is between 10 and 30 units per week. Alright, so whenever it comes to uniform probability distribution, we'll have to plot the range in the diagram. As I told you earlier, our uniform probability distribution diagram looks like this, in which variable x comes inside the rectangle and the range is mentioned below the rectangles. The lowest range lies over here and the highest range lies over here. It starts from left to right. So in our case, the range is between 10 and 30 units per week. So this is 10 units and this is 30 units. Here is our function x, which we will determine right now. So the probability, the uniform probability density function can be derived with the help of a formula. So function x is going to be like this, in which we know that the area of a rectangle, in this case, in area of rectangle, area of a uniform rectangle is always 1, meaning that the shaded portion of this rectangle is our area, which is always 1 in the case of uniform probability distribution, because 1 means 100% probability in the case of uniform probability. Alright, so we know in the case of uniform probability distribution, the area of a rectangle when making the probability uniform probability density function is always 1. Now, if you understand this, we know that the equation is like this. So we know that area of a rectangle is length into height, and in this case this is our length and this is our height. Okay, but we know the length but we don't know the height. So the length is 20. As you can see, how it is derived: highest minus lowest. We don't know the height, but we do know the area, which is 1. So with the help of this equation, we have derived a height, which is going to be 1 by 20. Okay, so our uniform probability density function for this case is going to be 1 by 20, which is nothing but our height. So we know that we have a length, a specific range, and we have derived the height as 1 upon 20, which is our uniform probability density function. In some cases, if I want to know that what is the probability that I will have 20 units per week, I want to determine that what is the probability that I have less than 20 units per week. So x is going to be our probability function. X is going to be our probability, and we have to determine that how much probability will be there that the units will be lesser than equals to 20 within a week or per week. So how we can calculate the probability with the help of this function? It's very simple and easy. We know that area of rectangle is length into height. In the case of this situation, we will have to find out the probability with the help of uniform probability distribution diagram. We know our range lies between 10 and 30, and the situation is asking us the probability which is less than 20. So 20 lies over here, and our x lies in this much portion. So we need to find out the area of this portion. This area is our probability. Alright, so how we gonna do that? We'll have to calculate the area. We have a length and we have a height. So in this case, our length is going to be for only this much portion. So this is our P and this is our A. So length is going to be P minus A into H, 20 minus 10 into 1 by 20, which is going to be 10 by 20. So the area is 0.5. Okay, it means that for a probability of unit which is going to be less than or equals to 20, it has a probability of around 50% as per our calculations. So there is a 50% chance that 20 units, that the demand for 20 units will be 50%, meaning that in conclusion we can say that there is a 50% chance of having 20 units per week. Alright, okay, so I hope you must have understood this concept. For your better understanding, I have explained you this concept with the help of area of a rectangle, and it is very much easy to understand the uniform probability distribution with the help of area of a rectangle. So in conclusion, I will say that by using the uniform probability distribution to estimate customer demand for the product, you can make informed decisions about inventory replenishment to ensure adequate stock levels while minimizing excess inventory cost and stockouts. This approach allows you to balance the trade-off between carrying cost and stockout cost, ultimately improving the efficiency of your inventory management process. Thank you. In the next video, I will explain you this concept in a very detailed manner, and I will also take some of the business related problems which will clear your understanding about this topic in a very detailed and adequate manner.